Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we are currently wiping up the last 2 units in this particular local government lance. We've also got hostiles dropping in here. They're an ambush lance. We were aware that they were going to be coming in. And let's just close in here with our Black Knight and continue to pummel this Epimetheus. Let's see what we've got here. That was not great shots, but I believe that might have been a head hit. Maybe not. Okay, well that's fine.
Commander.
Our trebuchet can position about here for ideal range. I would have preferred the side arc, but we'll take the ideal range over the side arc. So let's see what we get done there. And actually, the Epimetheus is just gone. Phenomenal. That's great. And next up, we've got that medium rifle carrier. So now we'll find out what they're dropping in here. Our mystery tangos. Yep. Word of Blake. Okay. That is noted. So that's going to be exciting. No doubt about that. We could get up into... Oh, hello. Can we sprint, please? Thank you. We could get up into side arc here and hit this medium rifle carrier. That also triggers an update on our sensors. So we see an Oscout, a Vulcan, a Hunchback, a Sentinel, a Hammer, and an Owens. Nothing too scary here, although that Hunchback is the 4J variant. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's hit this medium rifle carrier and see if we can't eliminate it.
Roger that.
We did not take it out, but it's going to be close. We're not going to be too focused on these guys out over here. Command van firing on this Oscout. Okay. We're definitely fine with that. So we don't move our hoplite for a while here. I'm thinking about that being a juicy artillery cluster there, but we definitely don't get the ability to shoot at that for a bit. They might move before we get the ability to do that. We'll see. But this would definitely be a great place to drop artillery. That medium rifle carrier backs off and gets nothing done on the centaur.
Barely a scratch.
Okay, they got, I think, 3 damage, but
Commander?
almost nothing. So we're not really interested in firing out over here, right?
Yes.
So this is both of our missile boats. We do not have LOS on this medium rifle carrier. So I think we are simply going to reserve. We'll let the Word of Blake units move first. Unless it's our hoplite. Our hoplite does want to fire. But everybody else is going to just not. So this is our hoplite here. I want to move the hoplite to this position, firing on this Hunchback in probably direct fire mode, since I think there's a backstop here. It's very hard to tell in this darkness, but yeah, this guy's on a hill. So I absolutely think firing here is a good call. I'm not going to fire the ER medium laser. There's not really a point. I'm also not going to fire the rocket pack, but I am going to fire the chaff. And we'll fire the AC-5 and just see what happens. Okay. Well, we got a little bit of damage in there anyway. So the light MTR carrier is also firing at this cluster. I love this choice. Absolutely fire at this cluster of units. That's great. Next up is our Shadowhawk. I don't think that the Shadow... Actually, the Shadowhawk does get LOS up over here. We'll take that then. We'll not fire the medium pulse laser. I'd love to take out this right side here. And it looks like we got it. We destroyed the right side tracks. But we didn't actually destroy that side. That is unfortunate. It's very close. No doubt about it. But that medium rifle carrier is still kicking. Well, I mean, rolling. Well, I mean, it's not rolling. And it's also not kicking. But it is still able to fire. And that's the point there. Ah, they're firing at the medium rifle carrier here. They did not get anything useful done. Okay. And this is going to be our Wraith. So our Wraith is overheated, right? And I'm going to dip the Wraith down into the water here and just sink him. That'll be fine for the moment. Next up is our Trebuchet. And the Trebuchet is in largely the same camp of we want to reserve. So we'll see what Word of Blake decides to do here. I would not mind it if Word of Blake finishes off this rifle carrier. That would be nice. I just can't believe they actually had a king crab. at 3 skull, that's kind of nuts. I mean, it's a crappy king crab, but it's a king crab nonetheless. Like, that's a 100-tonner. It's wild. Absolutely wild. So they jumped up over here with their Oscout. Their Vulcan backs up and doesn't really do much.
Receiving you.
And we have a rear arc on their Oscout here. I don't think we actually hit this with any meaningful amount of damage, right? But this is quite far away. I'm just checking these hit odds for right now. 8.8%. Yeah, 6.9. There's that Vulcan, and that's the one that I think we want to fire on here. We didn't get all that much done there. I don't expect to at this distance. They're very far away, and we need to be closing in over this direction. So that's fine. Let's see what they do here. The Hunchback is moving forward. That Hunchback is probably priority target right now. That's the theory. Beyond that, this Sentinel hasn't moved yet, nor is this Hammer, nor this Owens. So the Owens is backing off a little bit. Okay. The Apollo can move to be about here.
I'm there.
I would love to fire on this Hunchback. How are those hit odds? 40%. Okay, let's start chipping him down. This guy is definitely the highest threat on their side over there, so we'll see what we can get done there. That'll be great. I would love to see them eliminate this medium rifle carrier. Actually, the Dervish could do it here, but it doesn't. It absolutely does not. No hits at all. I'm not shocked. I don't know why it took that shot, to be honest. Hit odds probably would have been really bad. It was indirect, very long range. They probably would have been better off firing on this Hunchback, to be honest. But AI does weird things. What are you going to do? So the Sentinel is now moving up over here and not firing. Okay. So this is still a decent cluster to drop artillery on. I'd want to drop it on the Sentinel. But overall, this is not bad. The Hammer's moving in this way too. Actually, now the Hammer might be a better person to drop it on, or even the Owens. Fascinating. So the Black Knight is going to want to move in over towards the water, right? And I think the Hunchback 4J is probably the priority target here. Yes, absolutely. So we'll fire on the Hunchback 4J, missing everything. Okay. I mean, in the dark, at these ranges, I'm not shocked. Seems about right. So next up would be our Trebuchet. The Trebuchet needs to also start heading down towards the water. How are we doing on that Hunchback? Obviously, we don't want to fire the medium lasers. We can lob the LRM, and see what we get done. That's a few hits. We'll take it.
Pretty damn hot.
Okay, so next up is our Centaur. Now, the Centaur needs to be making its way up over this direction, right? That's flames on the way. We could head out over here instead. We don't get LOS on the medium rifle carrier, but that might not be the worst thing. These hit odds in general aren't great, so I'm not actually going to fire with the Centaur here. We're going to close in. Command van firing on that Hunchback. Okay, we'll take a little bit of Hunchback damage. So that, I believe, was that medium rifle carrier. And it missed everything. Indeed. So that's great. Next up is our Apollo. And I want the Apollo to continue to head in over here and fire on this Hunchback. I want this Hunchback gone by the time we get into relatively close range. Not that it has an AC-20, but I still want it gone. Not actually sure what those missile weapons on a 4J are. It could be looked up, but that sounds like work. So this Centurion is going to fire on the Tiny Atlas up over here. It got a little bit of AoE damage in there. Not much, but a little bit. We'll take it. This Word of Blake Lance is a little awkward for us to engage at this range and in the dark. But this Oscout is moving up over to here. That might be a good target for our Centaur now. The light MTR carrier is choosing the exact right target here. I love this targeting. Unfortunately, it didn't really hit anything, but I still love the targeting selection there. The choice of the target was phenomenal. So I want to move in our Shadowhawk here, and the Shadowhawk is going for the kill on the medium rifle carrier. Maybe we don't fire... No, I think we fire everything here. Get rid of it. Phenomenal. So it's out of here. Next up is all of the Word of Blake units. We've already softened up somewhat this Hunchback, and these guys back here have taken some amount of fire, but they obviously need more. Let's see what Comstar has to say here. Comstar, of course, not famously getting along well with Word of Blake. Wonder why that could be. And they are just going to continue attacking this Hunchback as an ideal target, I think. Yeah, just keep hitting that Hunchy. I love it. They've got a lot of missiles over there. That's pretty decent, all things considered. Okay, phase 14, who are they going to move? Probably someone in this cluster. I would absolutely love to drop our artillery here, and we do get to do it this phase. So no matter who they move here or where they move it to, we still have a decent target here. Okay, they're attacking the Shadowhawk. I don't care about that. They can do that all they want. Next up is our Hoplite. And the Hoplite is going to step in over here. And we are going to be angling for this Owens. Now, I believe there's a backstop here. Yes, it sure looks like there is. So I'm going to fire direct fire with the howitzer here. That was a solid hit. That was really good.
SRS.
That did a lot of damage right up in here. I love it. So that was directly on this Owens. Yeah, that definitely chipped down that armor. Love to see it. So this hammer is rocking a bunch of medium lasers. Noted. That hitman is attacking the Hunchback. Another 4 damage into it. It's not a lot of damage, but we absolutely do want to continue to close in over here. So the Wraith is going to sprint to about here.
Got it, Commander.
And we're going to fire on this Hunchy. We have decent hit odds at this range, so let's really start this off. Excellent. He is guarded, so he has that damage reduction, but that's okay. The crossbow will continue to step forward and close in on this Hunchy. And we'll just continue to shred that armor off of him. For now, that's absolutely fine. The Hunchy is going to move next, and we'll see. Maybe he attacks the Wraith. If he does, the Wraith is completely fresh, and he has a lot of heat there. Okay, LRM variant. Good to know.
Reporting light damage.
That's absolutely fine. So the Black Knight would love to hop down into the water. If it does this, it doesn't have LOS, unless it positions here, but it will likely stray shot from the Wraith. So I'm going to position it here for now. We'd like to continue to get closer, but this is much less likely to stray shot. I'm on him. Internal damage into that Hunchy there. I like it. That's really solid. Oh yeah, that's great. So this guy, he doesn't have much left in terms of time. Phenomenal. We're also closing in with our Centaur here. We'll be able to engage these guys quite soon. We'll be about here next round. Sentinel moving up. It has identified the Centaur as a threat, but it failed to hit it. So that's absolutely wonderful. We're very pleased with that. And let's see what else they're going to move here. They haven't moved their Owens or their Vulcan yet. If I had to guess, this will be the Owens, and the next one will be the Vulcan. And yep, that does indeed appear to be correct. Beautiful. So the Owens is firing on the Shadowhawk. It missed some sort of a bombardment down here. That's good. I believe that's going to hit a whole lot of nobody, but let's see if I can pan. Okay. Yep. That is going to hit absolutely nothing. I love it. So now we're calculating the movement of this Vulcan, and where do we think it's going to go? I would engage it down this way, but we'll see what it does. Coming up over here? Okay. That's fine.
Yes, boss.
So our Trebuchet is heating up fast, right? I want to toss a few missiles into this Hunchy, and it's probably not going to do too much. mostly hitting out on the strong side of the hunchback there. That's okay. Next up, of course, is our centaur. So the question is, if we were to position it somewhere around here, do we have good hit odds on any of this? The answer is yes on the sentinel. This sentinel doesn't have a lot of frontal armor. We'll give it a go.
Giving him everything I've got.
We didn't break through the armor. I wasn't necessarily expecting to. But that definitely softened up the armor on that sentinel a lot. So our hoplite can position somewhere out over here.
On my way.
And I'd like to drop an indirect howitzer on this hammer. Watch it hit our centaur.
Firing. On rear
Nope,
arm.
we went on the other side. I like it. It didn't do a lot of splash damage, but it'll do for now. And the Wraith wants to continue to advance here
Onward.
and fire on that Hunchy. Field inhibitor is currently off. We might want to have it on here. Yeah, we want to have it on here. More damage into the Hunchy, and actually an LRM ammo explosion into dead Hunchy. We'll take it. So now we need to be fighting these guys up here, right? And there's kind of an outcropping in the way right here. So the question is, how can we get around this outcropping the easiest? Well, we can position here. That gives us rear arc on this hammer. We also have front arc on this Owens. We'll take the rear arc on the hammer. I don't really expect to get too much out of it unless we get tremendously lucky. And we didn't. So that's expected. Okay, there's that artillery dropping in right up over here. I like that targeting choice again. The artillery is doing a really good job. Unfortunately, it's not doing a lot of damage, but it's good targeting. So Comstar is just kind of chilling down here and lobbing very long-range weapons fairly ineffectually. Quite ineffectually, in fact. I don't love that. But at this point, they're going to be moving their Tiny Atlas, also known as a hammer. And we'll see what it ends up doing. I mean, it's got all those medium lasers, right? So we'll see. The Sentinel is nice and softened up for our Shadowhawk. Yeah, he's going for the Centaur with all those mediums. I'm not shocked about that, but they're not the best weapon to use on a Centaur, to be honest. So that's fine. You want to use something like a machine gun on the Centaur, to be completely honest there. We do have this Owens way out here. I would love to hit one of these other guys, though. So let's see if we can't get any other LOSs here. Looks like this is about the best we've got, unfortunately. We could continue to hit the Tiny Atlas, or we could just go for the Owens here. And I think that's what we're going to do. We'll just soften it up a little bit. It's not going to be too much. We're just awkwardly far away. We need to get in and engage. But once our Shadowhawk and our Wraith get around the outcropping, it should be okay. Fantastic. And also our Centaur is going to be backstabbing next round. So it's not going to be too much longer before these guys are all dead. And that's good. Additional damage into this Sentinel. It is getting up there in terms of the stability. Unfortunately, it does move in phase 9. So it's going to move fairly soon here. The Scout is going to move now. But if they move up over this way to try to engage our Centaur, then they're going to get backstabbed by the Shadowhawk and Wraith, and our fire support. Instead, they move down to engage the Shadowhawk, and that gives us a very, very solid melee angle. This is not rear arc, unfortunately, but it's still a very good melee angle here. 61.8% chance, so that means I'm assuming we're going to miss this, since we apparently missed all of them in the 60 to 70% range. Yep, there we go. Gotta love it. And we are now going to hit this Scout as hard as we can, side arc. We did get a structure exposure into shoulder destruction.
That's going to hurt.
But it's not ideal.
My mech's heating up.
But this Scout is probably a good target for our fire support at this point. So we'll do that, and we'll have this Wraith move up and engage this way. So phase 11 is going to be the Vulcan. What are they going to do with that, I wonder? They're really late in the move order, aren't they? Like 10 for an Owens, 9 for a Sentinel? That's insane. And yeah, they can hit the Shadowhawk, but we did brace after we missed the melee, so that is fine.
Yes.
Our Trebuchet at this point wants definitely to engage up over here. Looks like indirect fire is, well, not really indirect, but obstructed LOS is the best we're going to get. Okay.
Locked on target.
Some internal damage on that Oscout there. That'll do. What else do we got? This is, of course, going to be the Owens. I'm thinking about eliminating this Vulcan with the Centaur, but the Centaur is going to be running low on ammo soon. So that is concerning. It's not, like, threatening, but it does mean things are going to slow down a bit. How are we doing on our Centaur ammo, anyway? I don't actually know. We'll find out soon, but not now. We need to wait for the Sentinel to fire first. Where are you going to go, bud? Probably going to go attack the Shadowhawk. That's been the popular thing to do of late, since we missed the melee attack yet again. Every time when it's a 60% chance we miss it. It's remarkable. At any rate, our Black Knight is going to want to move out into the water here, and we're just going to pot shot this Vulcan. We'll see what happens. Okay, we miss. That's fully expected, to be honest.
Stand still, moron.
Oh, he's pretty much standing still. You just missed. So, this was the bombardment down over here. That is kind of irrelevant, though. So next up is our Centaur, who absolutely wants to make his way up over here-ish. I'd like to find a position where we can get rear arc on the Vulcan without going through the fire, but I don't think we're going to find that. So I'm just going to position it here, and we're going to hit the Vulcan rear arc. Very weak rear armor. We're going to run out of missiles very soon. And there we go. The Vulcan is down. Phenomenal. So next up is this cluster of units here. The Sentinel, the Hammer, and the Owens. The Sentinel is pretty significantly wounded. A little bit of damage into that Oscout. Okay. Next up is our crossbow. The crossbow can actually fire on the Oscout, and we can probably eliminate that right now. Well, maybe not eliminate it looking at the armor there, but we can do a lot to it anyway.
Now that hit something good.
Okay, phase 12.
Out of LRM.
Noted. So the Apollo could probably get LOS there too.
Rolling.
And this, these are not good hit odds here. No visuals. Yeah, I mean, it's dark. But we'll see what we get there. Not what we needed. Okay. The Oscout is not doing well. But our hit odds there weren't great. They're continuing to hit the Hammer up here. I'm fine with this. So there's 4 remaining units at this point. They've got this cluster of 3, and then they've got this guy down here. Not much left. And that Owens is going in and attacking our crossbow. Getting very little done, to be honest. That's not shocking. That is not shocking in the slightest. So next up is our Wraith, and I really want the Wraith to be moving up and engaging over here. The best it can do is pot-shotting this Owens, and we'll see what we get there. Absolutely nothing. Okay, we're mostly just closing in, so for the moment, that's fine. The Word of Blake mechs are awkwardly far away, broadly speaking. So the Hoplite is going to step up over here, and I want to drop artillery on this Hammer. Unfortunately, they're not a cluster of 3 anymore. It's a cluster of 2, but we'll see what we get done there. Very little. That was not a great shot. Okay. That's fine, though. We'll see what our allies do with this Oscout. I would like to see at least a knockdown on it. That would be nice. Going for the Hammer rear arc. Okay, fair enough.
Receiving you.
So our Shadowhawk could make its way up here. We could also continue to hit the Oscout here. Like, this is a very viable option here. We could not fire the medium pulse laser, and this is probably a kill. Let's do it.
Attempting physical attack.
So successful melee there, which was obvious. It was always going to be successful on that front. I have no idea how much damage we're doing here because for whatever reason the camera decided not to show us, but apparently we destroyed it. Okay, cool. Pilot ejected. So the light MTR carrier, again with the right target selection choice, unfortunately it just didn't hit. So the trebuchet from here can actually fire directly onto this Owens. Hit odds are very, very low, but why are they that low? Firing blind? Okay. I mean, it is dark, so fair enough. Yeah, we don't hit anything, and I'm not shocked.
No joy.
So that is reasonably expected. From here, we have an additional allied unit, but there's only 3 enemies remaining, and they're not particularly high-threat enemies. Unfortunately, our allies are not very competent, and they are not getting very much done here. I'd almost wish that they weren't here, just so that the turns would go faster. Ooh!
I'm losing weapon systems.
I did not expect an arm destruction there. So that was the claws. I don't know if we'll get the claws back. The M-Pod bolt-on, of course, yeah, that's fine for now. So the Black Knight needs to move up over this way. I was absolutely not expecting that kind of an attack, but that was because of the hammer. All of those medium lasers clustering in like that, that'll do it. And we were softened up in that angle, so I guess fair enough. I should have expected it, but I didn't. Okay, so that's fine. We're going to fire on the Sentinel here, but not get very much done. What I want here... Well, now the Sentinel gets to move. They move so late. It's like deceptively late that they move. Okay, so the Shadowhawk has a weak left flank here. If we lose the M-Pod, I'm not too concerned about that. That's reasonably fine. So the Sentinel is going to attack the Shadowhawk there, and that's indeed exactly what it does. I'm not sure... Oh, ferrofibrous destruction there? We'll have to take a look at that. I'm pretty sure we do have a ferrofibrous there, but... I'm pretty sure we have a ferrofibrous to spare, I mean. But yeah, that was rough. No doubt about that. So we're going to move in over here with our Centaur. The hammer's gotta go. We've already hit the rear arc of it once, so that wasn't great, to be honest.
Take that as a lesson.
That was really not great.
SRMs are out.
Okay, so we're out of missiles for our Centaur at this point. The Apollo is going to position here. And we'll just lob missiles at this Owens. I'm not expecting to get too much out of that. Okay. Yeah, that'll do for now. Next up is our Wraith. And the Wraith can position here and can now fire on the Owens. Mediocre hit odds here. Lead to very little damage. Okay. We really need to get closed in here, but it's tough.
I got the heat.
There's just these giant rocks everywhere, right? And it's very tough to get in to good angles here. So the Dervish is going to fire on that Sentinel. The Sentinel is a good target due to its frontal arc softening, and I'd like to eliminate that. So the Shadowhawk can position somewhere around here. We want to protect the left side. So we want to turn something like this. And then we can fire on the Sentinel. Like so. So we're continuing to soften that up. Unfortunately, that hammer is still alive.
Yes, give them everything
and that's actually quite bad for us. We'll see what ends up happening with that. The Hitman also attacking the Sentinel there. We'll take it.
Good to go.
Now for our Hoplite. The Hoplite can position here. I'd like to go for the hammer here. Okay, we got some internal damage on it there. It's something, anyway. That damage on the Sentinel is pretty useless. Noted. So the Trebuchet is going to continue to close in here. We probably don't really have the hit odds to do much of anything. We're going to run out of ammo for our LRM-15s next round, but we'll just do a little damage to this Sentinel. I was hoping to take it out. Unfortunately, we did not succeed. And all 3 of these are phase 13. So we'll see what they do to our Shadowhawk here. Luckily, our Shadowhawk is pretty fresh other than these 2 areas. But that is going to be painful. No doubt about it. So the Sentinel moves in, and Goes for the crossbow of all things. Okay, that's pretty irrelevant there. I really don't care about that.
Good to go.
Next up, our crossbow is just going to come up here and return fire.
Copy that.
Do we go for the sentinel here? We absolutely do. Yes.
Roger.
Good internal damage there. A lot of internal crits, but unfortunately the centaur is still kicking. The real danger here is that hammer. That's the real danger here. So we'll see what they move next. It is the hammer, and it didn't fire. That's intriguing. I don't like that choice on their part. They absolutely could threaten the Shadowhawk here. The Owens jumps up over this way and hits the Shadowhawk. It's fresh everywhere except for that arm that was destroyed. So that's fine for the time being. Oh, I don't like this choice, though. They do take out the mech, and they don't actually hit our Shadowhawk there, but that was absolutely danger close. Or actually, they did hit our Shadowhawk there. I mean, they did destroy the mech, so maybe, arguably, that was worthwhile.
What are your orders, Skipper?
Maybe. We're going to move our Black Knight up over here, but it's
All right, let's
trailing behind. It's not really in a great position here.
Talk to
Not
me.
too much that can be done there. I'm going to put our Centaur about here,
Confirmed.
and we're going to hit the rear arc with this hammer again. I want this thing gone, but it probably won't go here. Ooh, we only hit one of those. We were on solid hit odds there, but it was enough to panic the pilot, so that is good. Our Shadowhawk wants to continue to protect its right side here, so we're going to position here and continue to hit this Owens as best we can.
Target confirmed.
That's actually a decent amount of hits there.
Commander.
That was not bad. So I'd like the Apollo to position about
I'm there.
here, and we'll just continue firing LRMs into this Owens,
Copy that, Commander.
but we're not going to get too much out of that, to be honest. What we need now is our mechs to get
Ready
closed in,
for
right?
order.
But that's a ways away. That Owens is way out there. So our crossbow can position here. The crossbow's in a decent spot to fire on the
Fire.
Owens. We'll see what we get done there. Additional armor reduction. That's fine. So this Dervish is still just kind of pointlessly
receiving
way down there. The Wraith can sprint up to about here.
Double time.
And
Let's
we'll
go.
see what we can get done with this Owens. But yeah, we definitely don't want to fire the PPC here.
Affirmative.
Hit odds are pretty bad, but actually that was a structure exposure and some internal damage. No crits. But even so, this Owens is in serious danger now. So I like it. That ended up working out pretty well. The Hoplite can position here and just drop an indirect shot on the Owens. I don't expect too much out of this.
Roger.
Yeah, we got very little out of that, although he is now stressed, so that's fine. Absolutely no damage into the Owens from that Comstar shot. Next up is our Trebuchet. I expect very little out of the Trebuchet here. This is its final round of LRMs as well. Let's just lob them and see what happens. 4 damage. Okay, like I said, very little expected. So the Owens is going to move in phase 11. Okay. The Black Knight can now get into LOS. We can try to shoot this thing, but odds are very, very low at this range. It's so dark, right? It's very hard to see.
You gotta be shitting me. That should have hit.
I'm not surprised that that didn't hit. I'm deeply unsurprised by that one. The light MTR carrier might be out of ammo at this point. It didn't fire on the Owens, and it should have. If it... Are you out of ammo? No. Okay, it just chose not to fire. The Owens is continuing to withdraw and hitting the Shadowhawk here. It hit it with a barrage as well. This could be potentially very painful for the Shadowhawk.
I've got your back.
And the continual withdrawal is definitely the obnoxious part here. So we'd have to position there. Let's just move the Centaur into here for the time being. Okay. Hitman firing on this Owens. We need this Owens gone, right? And unfortunately, this is basically immediately down to 1 turn on the barrage. We may actually want to brace here. And I'm going to. So the hoplite can position here.
On my way.
The Owens is uphill at this point. Maybe we fire direct here. It's not great.
Confirmed.
Terrible shot there. Absolutely abysmal. Okay. This thing is really hard to hit. It's way out there. It's super dark. Unfortunately, we'd like to get it killed before this barrage hits. But I don't know that that's going to happen. The Owens backs off further and continues to shoot at the Shadowhawk. Okay. This is going to hurt. No doubt about it. Light MTR carrier sensor locks the Owens, which is not super helpful, to be honest.
Standing by.
The Apollo can get a side arc over here.
Ordnance received.
51% hit odds, actually. This is into its strong side. But we'll take it. We'll
Scored
take
a
it.
critical hit.
The Owens is now unsteady, so that's kind of huge.
Waiting
Our
for order.
trebuchet, of course, can't really do much. We can position
Excellent.
here and pot shot a few medium lasers, but that's about it. Yeah, we don't get any of those. I'm not shocked.
Damn it.
Next up is this dervish, and it doesn't do a single thing.
Commander?
That's reasonably expected as well. I'm going to position our wraith
Going.
here, and the only thing we can fire is our PPC, and we'll give it a go. 64%. I believe that's a hit. Yes, it is. Okay. All armor, though, unfortunately. Next up is our crossbow, and we've got this same side arc that we had previously. Take it.
Engaging.
And that finishes off the Owens. Okay,
Well, we
so
still
we get to
set.
avoid this barrage. That's really, really good. I'm very pleased about that. Now, that was an awkward mission. There's no doubt about it. But we did get it done, and at whoa. What is that, an N? Are we loading? I'm not sure what's happening here. I think we were loading. I think we're okay. I don't think we're crashing. It would be very awkward to crash here. Okay, we're good. That was very awkward, no doubt about it. That whole mission was awkward. Losing the Shadowhawk's arm is not the end of the world. We took a fair amount of damage. We do get a King Crab part. We could also just salvage this guy. Unfortunately, we only have 13 of salvage, but to get it, we need 16. So we would have to disassemble it. And we would have to grab these parts here and hope to get the other two out of roulette. I think that's exactly what we're going to do. We got 4 of them. That's sad. We did get a double heatsink kit. We got a double stack of LRM, or of AC-20 ammo, and some Artemis LRM ammo. That's all good. I think that's reasonably fine. Let's just continue here and call that good for now. I would have liked to get a full assault out of that, but unfortunately, that just wasn't in the cards, it seems. We tried. I mean, we have 4 out of 5 parts, so we might be able to... I mean, all we need to do is find one more Epimetheus, right? But I have no idea how likely that'll be. We'll see. I think we'll just have to, like, target Steiners for the time being if we wanted to do that. But we do need to repair our Shadowhawk. I don't know if the claws are going to immediately come back. They might be endemic to the Shadowhawk, or they might need to be replaced. I don't know if we have any in stock. Other than that, I don't mind losing the bolt-on weapon that was on there. So that's reasonably fine. We'll get these repairs going. We'll get the Shadowhawk repaired. Yes, go ahead and do that, Yang, but we're going to need to manually repair the Shadowhawk. So this is going to be the big one. The rest of these weren't too bad, all things considered. So let's hop into the mech bay here, and let's get the Shadowhawk repaired nice and quickly here. Shadowhawk. That's going to need to be refit. As soon as it gets loaded, anyway. Okay, so let's get this thing done. we're going to hit the repair all button. So we did lose the ferrofibrous armor. I'm pretty sure we don't have, or no, we do have ferrofibrous here. We did lose a pair of machine guns out over here. So we should be able to replace those, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we've got plenty of machine guns. So that's not a problem. We can put the machine guns in here. We've got the MG ammo still down here. So we lost the claws and we lost the M-Pod bolt-on. Okay. We've got the FCS melee in here. Noted. I don't think that we have any additional claws. That will give us some more weight, potentially. And as far as the M-Pod bolt-on goes, I'm not sure where we actually had that. Let's max this armor for now and see where we're at. We've got 1.221 tons remaining. We could just drop the ferrofibrous armor. We've still got the chainsaw on here. So we could just drop that and then go down a little bit in terms of armor. So down to like 125 here. And then drop like our torsos down to about 125 as well. So something about like this, maybe drop a little bit in the rear armor. Like that. That could do the trick. This way we don't have to put the ferrofibrous armor back on. We do lose the claws, which isn't great. But we just don't have anything to replace them with as of right now. So for now, this will do, I think. It is, in my opinion, a downgrade. But it's not a huge one. It's about the same. So let's validate that. It should be fine. Yes. And let's get that repaired. Excellent. So the Shadowhawk will just be cranked up to here, and we'll probably deploy without it, but it is well past time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we'll see what we want to do about that deployment. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamers, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.